Okay, let me begin. So again, I'll give you a very small recap. Whenever you're not understanding a concept, please do let me know. I would reiterate the same concept again for you. So for those students who were absent during my last class, let me give you a very small summary. This is your KNIME workflow. Workflow means the space where you have to do all your projects. On your left-hand side, you can see a node repository. Node repository means you have to depend on different types of nodes to proceed with your analysis. We also have one more component which is called the workflow coach. I'll tell you what you mean by a workflow coach. For example, if I'm going to do a market basket analysis, I would be taking one node and I would be posting it into my workflow space. But I will not know which node has to be used in the upcoming process. So automatically the workflow coach would recommend few nodes to me. So a new person who's using KNIME for the very first time, or even a very well-versed data scientist who wants to do a very different analysis can make use of this workflow coach. For example, I'm going to take file reader. Any type of analysis you start, first you have to read the file. So please go to your node repository and in the search title, you type file. Once when you type file, different nodes will get popped up. And you can also see this node which is called file reader. So use the drag and drop option. Drag and drop option is nothing but just select this, drag it and drop it into your workspace. Right? So as soon as you have dropped it, it is showing a signal in red color. Red color signal means there is no file into this node. Until and unless you drop a file into this node, you cannot perform the analysis. So any type of analysis which you have to do on the KNIME platform, you have to first use the file reader. Now, I'm going to click this file reader. I'm going to right click because I want some data. Now I have to go to configure. You can click configure or you can also press F6. After I click configure, this new dialog box would open. But anyway, it will show me an indication that please specify a file. So I have to search for a file from a database which I have downloaded to perform my analysis. So there is one option here which is called the browse option. Please ensure that whatever file you are downloading in Excel format should be converted into .csv. If you are not able to convert it into .csv, then you cannot perform the analysis. So always ensure that you convert into .csv. Are you guys clear till this step? First, you have to take a file reader, use the drag and drop option. You have to upload it into your workspace, right click, and then you have to press the configure option. Are you all clear till this step? Can you type in the chat box? Okay. Now, I already have a file. I'm going to browse for my file. You can see that I'm having my file. Where is it? Okay, nice. Okay, these are all the different types of files which I have. The same file which I showed you, customer credit card data. I've taken the customer credit card data from a database and I have saved it into .csv format. I'm taking that file only. So I'm importing that file. After I import that file, I have to click apply and then I have to click OK. So now you can see that there is a change in the signal color, which means this particular node, that is the file reader node, has the data, but however, it is just ready to be processed. Traffic signal lights you have to remember. There is a change from red color signal to yellow color signal, which means the data is ready to be analyzed. So how do you analyze it? Right click and then press execute. Once when you press execute, the color changes into green color, which means the data has been processed without any discrepancies and it is ready to be viewed. So how do I view my processed file? Again, I have to right click. I have to go to my last menu, that is file table, and I have to click that. So now you can see that whatever data was available in my data sheet is getting reflected here on the KNIME platform. So this file, how it has to be analyzed? You have to first have a basic understanding on your data. So this data sheet has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 column items. What are the 7 column items? Customer age, gender classification, number of family members who are dependent on this consumers, educational qualification, marital status, income category, and card category. And you have multiple different types of consumers. How many consumers are there? How many consumers are there? 10127 consumers. And there are 7 different column items. Now, let's do more deep understanding about this consumers. If you look into the customer age category, mostly it is ranging from 40 to 65. You can just scroll down and you can see. For example, 45, 49, 51, 40, 44, etc. And 65 also you have. So basically you understand that majority of the customers who have a credit card are ranging between the age category of 45 to 65. Second, gender. Gender has been classified into male and female. Dependence. If you see dependence, it is ranging from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you cannot come to a conclusion telling that those who have credit card, they have more dependence of 5 and more members. It's not like that. You can also see 0 as a count. Then you see the educational qualification. You have high school, graduate, uneducated, college, postgraduate, doctorate, etc. Even unknown is also there. And if you look into marital status, you can see married, single, unknown, unmarried, diverse, etc. The same way for income category. There is something very interesting for me to see, that is card category. Card category has been bifurcated into 4. Blue card, gold card, silver card, and platinum card. So this is my basic data set. So now, what type of analysis should we process for? As I've told you before, when it comes to the KNIME platform, you can perform any type of analysis whichever is applicable to you. Now, I want to group some data together. It is called data aggregation, or it is also known as data grouping. If I ask you to group the data, you will group the data based on your expectation, right? Because every one of us will be having different perspectives. However, the data set will be the same. Even when you are doing the grouping, you don't do the grouping like how I'm telling you. You do different type of group. But just understand how grouping has to be done. Grouping is nothing but to merge the data together. If you have to do the grouping, again you go to your node repository and you have to type group. So when you type group, there are 2 different nodes which are getting popped up. One is group by and the other one is ungroup by. So I have to do the grouping. So I have to drag and drop the group by menu into my workspace. Before performing the analysis, I'm going to give a name for my file reader node. Just double click on this node 1 and it will ask you for an edit option. I'm going to click customer credit card data. You can give any name. For example, if this data is pertaining to ICICI Bank credit card, then you can mention ICICI customer credit card data, right? So now, if I have to group First, I have to connect the file reader node to the group by node because the raw file is with the file reader node. The group by node doesn't have any file. You remember, we have right click, we have configured, and the data is available only with the file reader node. So you please connect the node, file reader node with the group by node. After you connect, the group by node shows a red color signal, which means you have to configure this. So how will you configure? Right click and configure. So when you press configure, it is asking you different information. Which elements, which column you want. I am interested only in 3 columns. I want to know only about educational qualification. I want to know only about marital status. I want to know only about gender and card category. I don't want to know customer's age. I don't want details pertaining to dependent count, and I don't want any information on income category. So I take only those 4 elements from my data sheet which is needed into my group columns, which you can see with the green color boundary. And now I'm clicking apply and I'm clicking OK. Now it has to be executed. So I right click and execute it and I'm checking my output. So when I'm checking my output, my entire data sheet has only details pertaining to gender, educational qualification, marital status, and card category, right? And it has been arranged properly. So data grouping means from the entire data set, you categorize the data, you retrieve the data, you cluster the data only based on your requirement. Okay. Should we change the maximum minimum limit? It is not needed to change. I'll tell you why it is not needed to change. The reason is that if you change the maximum and minimum, then that originality in your data set will not be there. So it is always better not to give any maximum and minimum requirement. Just try to analyze the raw data, the same data which you have got. Okay, are you understanding the very basics of this group by node? So what is the name which I can give? What are the 4 elements which we have taken? Gender, card detail, and qualification. So my data has been grouped based on gender, card details, and qualification. Are you clear with this column grouping? Can you all type in the chat box first? If you collect data from the WHO website, you will have so many data, so many columns will be there. But when it comes to the analysis, you don't have to depend on all the columns. You just have to depend on certain columns. So can you all type in the chat box? Are you all clear with this group? Are you all performing it? I hope you guys are performing. Yes. Okay. Now, column grouping we have done, but I want to do a row group. How do I do that? I'm going to my node repository. When you do the column filter, row filter option is also available. So I'm going to my node repository and I'm typing row. When I type row, there are different types of nodes which are getting popped up here, right? You can see on the screen. So I'm going to take only my row filter node. You can see my row filter. I'm dragging it and I'm dropping it. This is how a row filter node would be. Remember very clearly, it is not nominal value row filter. It is not reference row filter. It is just the row filter. After I drag and drop my row filter node is not ready to be executed. Why? Because there is no data. So what should I do? I have to connect my group by node to my row filter. I've connected it. Now it shows red color, which means still it is not ready to be executed because the data is there, but you have to do some configuration. So right click, configure. Now I'm just going back to my data, my group data. I'm just showing you. I want only the data pertaining to platinum category because platinum category customers, if you concentrate and focus, they might be giving you more profits, right? So this platinum category consumer detail only I want. I don't want the other types of details. So how should you filter? Right click your row filter, configure. If you go to this configure, this dialog box would open. You can exclude an attribute value. You can include an attribute value. You can include any rows by number. You can also exclude any rows by number. Before that, I would like to talk about two important variables. One is an integer and other one is a string, string. Integer means something which can be counted, numerical numbers, right? For example, family dependent members, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are all examples for integers. String means it is all the different categories, blue card, yellow card, white card, red card, pink card, male, female. It goes like something which doesn't have a numerical value. Now, I want to include rows by a particular attribute value. What is my particular attribute value? Platinum cards, right? So I'm going to this particular item that is column to test. It shows card category. It has gender, educational qualification, marital status, and card category. But I want only details pertaining to platinum category of consumers. So obviously I have to choose the card category. Now I'm including only rows by an attribute. What is that attribute? Platinum. Apply. Okay. Is ready to be executed. I'm executing it. I'm right clicking. I'm filtering it. So I'm getting details of consumers who have taken this platinum category. Only those consumers. Assume that row ID is nothing but a customer ID, right? So customer 1, Anand. Customer 2, Yuvraj. Customer 3, Varma. Customer 4, Sushin. Likewise, this details would be there. So it's very easy for me to collect information only from these consumers. Now, I'm going to give a name for this. What is the name which I will give? Platinum consumers. Platinum consumers. Now, I want to do one more filter option. Yeah, platinum card holders, platinum consumers. Now, I want to do one more filter option. How can I do that filter option? Further, I want to do some segregations. I'm taking my row filter and dropping it into my workspace. From my grouping, I'm connecting with my row filter. One more tail. This is called one more tail. I'm connecting my group data to row filter. I'm right clicking. Before that, let me explain. I'm going to my raw data. Now, I want to know only those consumers who are married because married people have this habit of spending a lot of money using credit cards, right? Especially wife would spend. So I want details only pertaining to that. So I want to group it based on married category. Married. I'm right clicking and configuring. I want to include only rows by attribute. So what should I click next? I have to go to this column to text. I have to take marital status and use pattern matching. Pattern matching means it will match the data only which you are giving. I'm going to give only married people. Three options are there. Listen, I want to include a particular attribute. That attribute is nothing but from marital status. From marital status, I want to know only information pertaining to married category. So I'm requesting KNIME platform to use the pattern matching to collect data only which is matching with married category. Apply. Okay. Right click, execute, and check your result. So can you see this? Married categories. So these are all the married categories. So married categories, you have also taken blue cards, silver cards, gold and platinum. Now, further I want to do one more grouping. Platinum is there. I'm going to check the platinum details. So in platinum also some married people are there. Can you see? The first person is married. This 99% is married. Then few more person are married. I further want detail only those who have married and those who belong to this category. What will I do? Again, I'll take my row filter. I'll post it here. I'll connect the thread. I've already grouped my consumers to platinum category. Separately, I've grouped my consumers into merit category. But now I want to again filter only from the first filtering which I have done from the platinum consumers. So again, I'm doing a row filter. I'm right clicking, I'm configuring, and I'm mentioning again include category based on marital status. Only those who are married. Only those who are married. Apply, okay, execute, right. So, first filtering is platinum, second filtering is married. I'll repeat it again. I've taken a data sheet. First, I've grouped the data. Grouping this data means I'm grouping the column items. What are the three important columns which I want? I want column information pertaining to gender, credit card details, and qualification. Nothing other information I want. I want only these three information. So I'm collecting only these three information. When I'm going through this information, I get to see that there are so many bifurcations. For example, card has been classified into four categories. Marital status is also classified into four categories. Educational level also has different categories. Gender also has two categories. I don't want to concentrate on all the consumers. As a business unit, I want to focus only on platinum consumers, because they might be enhancing my profitability position of my firm. So I have to filter them. So for filtering that, you have to use the row filter. You have to go to your row filter, configure, and you have to right click. Again, three elements you have to understand here. I'm going to include only data from card category. From card category, I'm requesting my KNIME system to match and retrieve the data pertaining to platinum category. So use pattern matching to platinum. Apply. Okay, it's already there, so it's not happening again. So what will be the output? I'm getting details only pertaining to platinum consumers. Again, I want to process further. I want to know how many consumers who have taken platinum cards are married. Again, I'm going to use one more configuration. I'm again going to include only one element, that is in marital status, married consumers. Again, apply and execute. So my final data is, it's very small. It's only 5 consumers. 5 consumers who have taken platinum category cards and who are married. Further, if I still want to concentrate Okay, there is one question. Can we filter using two categories at the same time? Like we say gold and platinum. No, separately you have to filter and again you have to group. Separately you have to filter and again you have to group. I'll tell you how you have to do it. Okay. But are you guys clear till this process? What is the second row filter name which I can give in? What is the second name for the row filter which I can give? Platinum consumers who are married. Exactly, married platinum consumers. Platinum consumers who are married. Now, I want to know details of those consumers who are belonging to the platinum category, who are married, and those who have a PhD, like doctorate. This code will be very useful to explore the Christ University data. There are married teachers who belong to the platinum category consumers and who also have a doctorate, right? So again, I'm going to row filter. I'm placing one more row filter. I'm going to connect both. I'm going to configure and I'm going to include data only based on level of education. In level of education, I'm requesting my KNIME system to do a pattern matching only with those details belonging to doctorate. Apply, okay, executed, and check. So there is only one female consumer who is belonging to the platinum category, who is married, and who also has this educational qualification. So what is the name which I can give for this? Married, platinum, doctorate holder, right? So different types of filtering options we have done. Are you all performing it along with me? So this is a very basic row filter which you have to do. You're cleansing the data. Cleansing the data can also be understood here. I want to concentrate only on this consumer. Sometimes, this lucky draw will be there, which has been organized by companies. Lucky draw. Many consumers will provide their data, but they will use some parameters and take only one consumer. So when they are doing that, they first have to streamline. They have to focus on the data. They have to use the filter option. And finally, they have to go for a final data. Are you clear with this basic information? You can do any type of group. Any type of groupings you can do. So this is the very first exercise. You please take a screenshot of this. First, you take the raw data. Then you group the raw data only based on gender, card detail, and qualification. Then you use the row filter to find who are your platinum category consumers. In level 2, again you find who are your platinum category consumers who are married. In level 3, you find who are your platinum category consumers who are married and who also have a doctorate degree. Are you clear with this? So I am going to take a screenshot of this and I'm going to send it to you. Give me a minute. Can you all please check your email? Can you all please check your email? Have you received it? I've sent you a screenshot and I've also mentioned very clearly what you have to do, and the data set also has been given. Can you check your mail and let me know if you have received my screenshot with the work activity which has to be practiced? Okay. So please perform group by node and the row filter. Okay. So this is the first one. Now let's move to the second one. Do you want me to explain again or are you clear with this? Okay. Now let's do different other types of analysis. Okay. Now I'll give you exactly 2 minutes of time. You please practice and let me know if you're able to do it. And then again, I'll continue with another. Okay. Time is 10:37. Sharp 10:40. Again, we'll start. Are you guys able to perform it? If you have any doubts, please do ask me. Okay, let's understand few nodes here. I hope you guys are able to retrieve the solution for it. You can please confirm in the chat box if you are able to do. So please make a note of it in your notebook. Please make a note. I'm also sharing one video link to you. Probably you can also make use of that. So the row filter node will allow you to filter according to your criteria, right? But provided you first have to remember about two values, one is integer and the other one is string. However, if I'm going to give you the same data set, you can perform it in a very different way. I will perform in a different way and you will also perform in a different way. So apparently our output would be totally different. It will not be the same. Now again, let me share my screen. Now let's perform the other analysis. Can you see my KNIME platform? Okay. Can you see my PPT screen? No. Okay. Assume that you are having two data sets. Show my PPT screen. Yeah, I hope my PPT is visible now. Assume that you are having two data set with you from a car manufacturing brand. You are a sales manager. So your top management is giving you two different data set. One is before 1995 and the other one is after 1995. They are asking you to perform an analysis. However, both the data set is different. Different in the sense it's two different data sets. So how are you going to merge this data set? This can be done using one of a node option which is called concatenation. Concatenation means again it is called grouping of data. It's called grouping of data. So on the KNIME platform, how are we going to perform the concatenation analysis? So that is the question mark which is needed. Are you clear with the question? Your top management is giving you two different data set. One is before 1995 and after 1995. Probably we can put it in this way. Before 1995, the data was manually collected and it was stored into the computer. But now, after 1995, the computer itself is automated and it is able to collect the data automatically. So there are two different data sets which you have. What is the first option which you have to use here? Can you type in the chat box before performing any analysis what node you should use? File reader. Exactly, file reader. So I'm going to my node repository. I'm taking my file reader and I'm posting it into my KNIME workspace. Now, my file reader, I'm going to give a name for it before 1995. For after 1995, should I depend on one more file reader? Because it's a separate data sheet, right? So again, I'm going to my node repository. I'm taking one more file reader and I'm going to give a name that is post 1995. Now I want the data. I have the data. I'm right clicking. I'm configuring. I'm going to browse. I'm going to the place where I have my KNIME data, concatenate. I'm having before 1995. I'm clicking apply. I'm clicking OK. Now the file is ready to be executed. I'm right clicking. I'm executing. I'm going to check my result. So let me show you the result. It has different types of column items. That is rank, name, platform, year, generic, publisher, sales, EU sales, JP sales, other and global sales. If you see this year, It starts from 1980, 1980, 1985, 87, 90, 93, 94. It stops with 94 because this is the file which has data before 1995. Now, let me use the data which is post 1995. I'm right clicking. Yeah, I will share this Harshit with you now. I'm right clicking, I'm configuring, I'm browsing, I'm searching for the data. I'm going to KNIME and I have the second data sheet. Apply and OK. The file is ready. I'm clicking execute and I'm going to check my data. So the same thing, everything is same except the year. Can you see the difference in year? The second data sheet has data starting only from 1995. So it goes to 1995. Then we have data from 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000. So we have two different data sheet, big data sheet which has been given. This is such a problematic situation, right? So how are you going to merge this? You have to merge this using this option which is called concatenate. C-O-N. If I put CONC, I'm getting this concatenate. Concatenate means in data analytics, merging two different data set together, right? So I am dragging that concatenate and I'm posting it here. Now I am going to connect both my data threads together. File reader 1, that is before 1995, to concatenate. File reader 2 to concatenate. I'm again right clicking and you don't have to do anything. You just have to execute. You can check your concatenated table. So my concatenated table has data from 1980. You can see from 1980 till 2000, which means two different data set has been automatically merged together, right? Are you able to understand the meaning of concatenate? Concatenate in data science means it is to merge two different data set together. Now, what I want you to do, please check your mail. Yeah, I've sent you a mail. I'm not going to send you the data sheet for this because I want you to take your own data sheet. Remember, in exam, we will not give you data sheet. We'll ask you only to take some time. Go to a database, take the data pertaining to sales, purchase transaction, pre-COVID, post-COVID, 2019 lockdown death case, 2020 death case, anything you take, right? You classify the data into two, have two different data sheets, and then you try to concatenate both the data sheet together using this. Have you received my mail? Can you type in the chat box if you have received my mail? Yeah. This is how